Welcome to Abundant Excursions. We understand that travel is more than just a destination, it's a once in a lifetime experience. We offer the perfect blend of luxury and adventure to create the ideal holiday getaway. From romantic beachscapes to exotic island retreats, we will work with you to find the trip that speaks to your heart. We specialize in romance and group travels. Planning a honeymoon? An individual or a group intimate celebration? We got you. What are you waiting for? Send us a message. Abundant Excursions, your luxurious access to the world.
Hi and welcome everyone. I am Rose and I'll be your guide today as we discover independent European travel with Europe Express and uncover some of the fabulous cities and routes in actually Spain and Portugal. So today we're going to highlight customized European travel through Europe Express, and we'll virtually travel to Spain and Portugal on some itineraries that include Barcelona and Madrid, as well as some drive itineraries in both Spain and Portugal. And as we conclude, Angela and I will give some tips to know before you go, and we'll provide you with Angela's contact information. So we're going to get started here today. It probably will just be around 25 minutes or so, not too long, but do ask us questions so we can get to some questions after the presentation. So let's get started on Europe Express. Europe Express is a tour operator that is based in the United States. And we do work exclusively with travel advisors like Angela to help them really create extraordinary independent European vacations for you, their clients. And we focus specifically in 4 different areas of expertise. If you've joined us before, I think you know these, but the customization is the first one because you really deserve a European adventure as unique as you are. Indulgent travel, that's all about the private over the shared sightseeing, your pre-booked private transfers, your hotel room upgrades, really to give you the most luxurious days imaginable. And then there's discovery. This is one of the best ways for you to immerse yourselves in the history and the culture and cuisine of a destination, to really seek that authentic experience away from the crowds. And oftentimes, really, this means traveling beyond those big cities and exploring the hidden wonders of less frequented villages and landscapes. And then we have transformation or transformative travel. This is all about expanding horizons, adopting new perspectives, really focusing on your well-being and embracing the extraordinary. What you have to understand is we're not your typical motor coach company. We are not a motor coach company where the hotels and sites and destinations are chosen for you. With Europe Express, you're truly on your own schedule and you decide just how, where, and when you want to travel. Now, Europe Express is truly a one-stop shop for all of those independent travel components for Europe. And we, again, work with Angela to put these all together for you. So we do have air contracts with all the major carriers into and out of Europe. For hotels and accommodations, we have the 3, the 4, the 5-star hotels, your castles, your villas, paradors, posadas, B&Bs, and apartments. We do have over 600 sightseeing options, from your basic hop-on, hop-off tour to fast-track entrances. We have special interest tours such as the beer and wine, history, or culture. These can all be arranged through Europe Express through Angela. We do offer shared private and executive transfers, really to make sure that you get safely from, say, the airport to the hotel to the train station to your cruise port, or really wherever it is you need to go. And if you're looking to chart your own course through a destination and get behind the wheel of a car, we're going to help Angela arrange that car rental for you. And then when you choose to vacation in Europe, odds are you'll probably travel by rail at some point during your stay. It is easy, quick, affordable, scenic, not to mention eco-friendly and multi-generational. And I say it all the time, but it is truly a little bit romantic. I'm going to ask that you discuss destinations, your interests, the type of air travel and accommodations that fit your budget with Angela. And then Angela will then work with our staff to secure that quote and get you the best possible package pricing and really book that European adventure for you. Now you're probably asking, okay, what are the benefits to me? Well, the benefits to you is that Europe Express is an established tour operator with over 30 years of experience in this marketplace. And since our inception in 1990, we have worked exclusively with the travel advisor to assist them again in creating those completely customizable European adventures for individual travelers, couples traveling together, or groups of 10 or more family and friends. Now, our US team is comprised of knowledgeable, passionate, and well-traveled reservation specialists. They have either lived in, worked in, studied in, or traveled throughout Europe extensively. So they know the destinations and all of our products inside and out. We also do have a Barcelona office that assists us in not only contracting our hand-selected products, using their relationships in the marketplace to negotiate contracts directly with all of those thousands of hotels locally, activities, and other services, but most importantly for you, they assist in servicing our 24/7 emergency support line. So when you're traveling, you really know that you're in the best hands with Europe Express all throughout your vacation. So let's get started in Spain actually today. From tapas to flamenco and Gaudi and the La Sagrada Familia, Barcelona is really the perfect base for a vacation in Catalonia. Private architectural, cultural, and historical sightseeing tours are available for the El Born Quarter, which is the offbeat and funky area of Barcelona, full with art galleries, tapas bars. There's the Gothic Quarter, named for the Roman village and its remnants of the past, and Gaudi's Barcelona, where you can marvel at the artistic genius of Gaudi. On the private full-day Barcelona with car and driver, you'll view the Plaza de España, built for the 1929 Barcelona International Exposition. Its towers are almost clones of the Campanile in Venice's Piazza San Marco. So if you've been to Venice, this kind of looks a little bit familiar to you. Then designed by Gaudi and designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1984, the Park Well is one of the most impressive green spaces in the world. There's the Casa Patio, the most visited and photographed building facade in Barcelona, also designed by Gaudi, as you can see by the colors and the design, and the tallest religious building in Europe, as well as one of the longest construction projects in the world, which is really set to be complete now in 2026, which is the La Sagrada Familia. Now for foodies, this city is rich in flavors of the sea. So on our morning private cooking workshop, you're going to enjoy a visit to the famous La Boqueria market, where you'll you'll learn to distinguish the fresh fishes and Mediterranean vegetables. And then following that visit, you're going to put your apron on and participate in a cooking workshop where you'll construct and then relish in a 3-course menu of tapas, paella, and desserts. What I always tell everybody, just please don't miss the rocky retreat of Montserrat. It is a dramatically beautiful Benedictine monk hideaway, and it's just an hour outside of Barcelona. Although this is a perfect haven for hikers, there is a cogwheel railway cable car that takes visitors to the top of the monastery, so you don't have to walk all the way up the hill. Our private Montserrat and the Holy Mountain Tour does afford you the best views of the Catalonian countryside from above this village. Moving on, the capital of Spain since the 17th century and the third largest city after London and Berlin, Madrid is a lively, historical, and art-filled metropolis, which has actually more cloudless days than virtually any other European city. So if you want the sun, definitely get to Madrid. Once ruled by the Habsburgs in the 16th and 17th centuries, Madrid's oldest city center is home to the portico-lined Plaza Mayor and the Baroque Royal Palace. The Prado Museum houses works of art by masters such as Goya and Velázquez. On our 4-hour private Madrid highlights and panoramic walking tour, guests will start the day with a stroll through Madrid's historic center, including the Plaza de la Villa, the Plaza Mayor, and the Plaza Oriente. The tour continues by private car to view the Puerta de Toledo, the Mayor Street de las Cortes, the Plaza del Prado, and the Las Letras. You will also get a chance to view the Cibeles Fountain, where the Real Madrid fans celebrate their team's wins. And the tour concludes with the Puerta de Alcalá and Colón Square. And there's really no better way to discover the flavors of a country than, again, to join a culinary tour. And we have just the introduction to Spanish cuisine here. So you'll enjoy a sampling of traditional hams, Iberian pig, the local olive oils, and rich manchego cheese in a traditional ham tavern, coupled then with some local wines that pair perfectly with these savory snacks. Our second stop is a classic Madrid tavern where we dip into the varied tapas dishes and sip on sangria and beer or wine or soft drinks. And we finish with an indulgent sweet treat of chocolate con churros at one of Madrid's famous and most popular chocolate shops. Now, located in the rolling hills to the northwest of Madrid, Avila, called the Town of Stones and Saints, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is considered to be one of the best preserved fortifications in Spain. It is known for its intact medieval city walls, 9 gates, and over 80 towers. Our private full-day Avila and Segovia tour begins in this historical city. We continue to Segovia, where you're going to enjoy a gourmet lunch, which is included in the cost of the tour. After lunch, you're going to tour the famous aqueduct of Segovia, a feat of ancient Roman engineering. The tour ends at the Alcazar of Segovia. This strikingly beautiful fortified castle was the inspiration behind the Queen's Castle in Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And we can really see that in every spire and turret. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Barcelona is the perfect base for a vacation in Catalonia. Catalonia, or land of castles in Catalan, in the northeast of Spain, is well known for its lively beach resorts on the Costa Brava, as well as the Pyrenees Mountains. And although Europe Express could help to build an itinerary solely on this region, our sample drive itinerary actually takes us to Zaragoza. So Zaragoza is Spain's 5th largest city and is rarely visited by international tourists, which is quite a surprise given its gastronomy and its history. Zaragoza is the capital of Aragon, and it used to be its own kingdom. And here you can see some of the best Moorish architecture outside of Andalusia. Oops, sorry about that. Here we are. I got ahead of myself. The itinerary does include and follows the route northward from Zaragoza to Pamplona. And within 2 hours, we're in the city which hosts the San Fermin Festival, established in the 13th century, and the world famous Running the Bulls, whose modern course began in 1776. Now, the expert tip for visiting Pamplona in the region in July during the running of the bulls: book early. So Burgos is approximately 2 hours from Pamplona, and it's worth a visit as it is the birthplace of the Spanish hero El Cid. El Cid, also known as Rodrigo Diaz Vivar, was the master of the battlefield, and as he championed Christian Spain against Muslim forces during the Reconquista. Now, the tour of Spain's north ends in Madrid, where we visit the Royal Palace. Let's just get to that picture. There we go. The Royal Palace at the heart of Madrid, the Prado Museum again, and the beautifully ornate Mercado de San Miguel, which is one of Madrid's indoor food markets, established in 1917, and it's a monument and a meeting point for over 10 million foodies each year. It's truly well worth the visit. Speaking of food again, you can see where my mind is right now at lunchtime. This road trip, number 2, gastronomy, will have you drooling with anticipation. With almost 500 miles of coastline, 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and 49 Michelin-starred restaurants. We begin in San Sebastian, known as Donostia, in the Basque language. It is a beach town on the Bay of Biscay, which boasts vibrant bars and serve local wines and tapas and excellent restaurants, 9 of which do hold those Michelin star ratings. In Bilbao, which is an hour to the west of San Sebastian, we see it's become more famous over the years for its cinematic appeal. Here, you're going to find the setting of Khaleesi's Dragonstone Fortress, as featured in Game of Thrones, whereas Oviedo is home to many 9th century buildings that have been recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So it's a wonderful area really to soak up history. However, if it is suds that you seek, I do recommend a visit to the Cideria on Calle Gascona for traditional cider, or ending the day bar hopping on Calle Mon. Lugo's documented history dates back to the 14 BC, when it was called Lucus Augusti. And still today, it is circled by its undamaged and ancient Roman walls, giving it a UNESCO World Heritage status. Local delicacies here in Lugo are the empanadas, which we all know as pastry filled with meats and fish and vegetables. Then the cocidos, which are stew filled with carrots, onions, potatoes, chickpeas, chicken, pork, and sausage. So make sure you learn how to eat it the proper way. I'm not going to tell you now how to do it, but learn how to eat it the proper way. And then we end in Santiago de Compostela. So Santiago de Compostela's Old Town is a pilgrimage site, also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its historical origins date back to the struggle between Spanish Christians and Islam. Santiago de Compostela is located in Galicia, where its main industry is fishing. So again, it's no surprise that many of the dishes star seafood. There is the pulpo a la feria, which is octopus, the salpacion de mariscos, which is seafood salad, and this is just to name a few. But its main sweet treat is the Tarta de Santiago, or the St. James cake, made from almonds and sprinkled with powdered sugar. It honors the memory of St. James, one of Jesus's apostles, who was beheaded in Judea, but who is rumored to be buried in the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela. Road trip number 3 is the south of Spain, or southern Spain, ruled by the Moors from the 8th to the 15th century. Many fine examples of Moorish architecture remain a testament to Andalusia's past. In Cordoba, where we begin our drive adventure, you should visit the mosque in the city center. In Granada, the Alhambra, and in Seville, the Royal Alcazar. If gastronomy is what interests you, Cordoba and Seville are among 2 of the 3 largest producers of Spanish olive oil and yield more than 2/3 of all olive oil of Spain. In Jerez de la Frontera and Malaga, they are known for their wine and sherry production. So did you know that sherry originated in Jerez, actually? The loop from Cordoba via Granada to Malaga and Jerez and Seville is only about 415 miles, and divided over a week of vacation time really makes for a fabulous journey through Spanish history. Now, similar to other European countries, Portugal is a very family-friendly and multi-generational destination. I have 2 different road trips that I'm going to recommend here. So Lisbon is Portugal's capital city and is reminiscent of another worldly city, San Francisco, for its hilly terrain, its streetcars, its cosmopolitan melting pot feel, and a bridge that even looks like the Golden Gate Bridge. There are a variety of cuisines to be found here that includes seafood dishes, Indian dishes from Goa, which was actually a former Portuguese territory, to pizza and gelato from Rome and sausages from Austria. To drink, port, of course, and not to be forgotten, the gingina, which is a liqueur that is 20% alcohol made with port, sour cherries, brown sugar, and cinnamon. Santa Cruz is a beach town just north of Lisbon. And whereas Lisbon reminds us of just San Francisco, this area's coastal path and cliffs offer stunning panoramic outlooks, which actually remind us of the entire California coastline. Here, you can delight in a bit of sand and surf while enjoying the sumptuous seafood menus of the restaurants, which give their names to the 8 beaches found in this area of the Western shoreline. Porto, or Oporto, is just about 2 hours, 40 minutes from Santa Cruz, and has currently seen an increase in popularity as an up and coming vacation destination. Smaller than Lisbon, Porto is more easily navigated. Porto's Ribeira district is the oldest in the city. You can meander the cobbled medieval labyrinth lanes to bars and restaurants and cafes and shops. Speaking of Porto, Porto is situated on the Douro River, and here is where we begin a tour of the Douro Valley and the Alto Minho. These are Portugal's gorgeous wine regions. While it's easy to take a sightseeing day trip from Porto, you can really create a memorable drive itinerary highlighting these regions. So not only will you see adorable fishing villages and serene scenery, but you'll have plenty of opportunities to stop and taste the white and red wines of the Douro, which will ultimately also be used in the production of port. And you'll have the chance to taste the Vinho Verde, or the crisp green wines of the Alto Minho. So in the Douro, we do recommend a stop in Pinau's railway station, fully decorated in ornate blue and white tiles, which illustrate the history of wine. And in Alto Minho, a stop in any of the hotels on the Rota das Tapas El Verino, which offer tapas accompanied with that green wine tasting. Now, just a couple of things to know before you go. We kind of go over these every time, but combining regions. While it's great to integrate various cities and regions into a customized independent European itinerary, please check to make sure that you allow ample time to really enjoy, relax, and immerse yourself. Angela will help you with that. So when to go? Well, most tours operate year-round, and Angela's going to check with us for any blackout dates. But this is going to bring me to point number 3, which is booking early. Now, the cities and the sites highlighted in this presentation are really top cultural, historical, and culinary getaways for travelers, not only from North America, but from around the world. So it's understandable that flights, hotels, sightseeing options, they all get full in advance. If you are seeking to travel in May or May through September, this is peak season. So I really do recommend that you book at least 6 months in advance for the best availability and options. And really, I mention this all the time, but we have seen a complete uptick in travelers wanting to go to Europe. We've lived 2 years without being able to get across the pond and get to Europe. And there are so many people that are booking right now. So we have a lot of travel advisors that are trying to get to us and create those great, amazing independent European vacations. So I just want to say this again. This year is a banner year in Europe. So a banner year. There are 2 festivals that are held every 10 years falling into 2022, the Floriade in Amsterdam, Holland, which you'd think would not affect a trip to Spain or Portugal, but when people do go to these events or festivals, they do tack on more countries and more cities to visit. And then of course the Passion Play in Oberammergau, Germany. So these run concurrently from about May through the beginning of October, and visitors to these festivals will, like I said, incorporate more of Europe than just the area of the fest. So along with all the other now annual festivals, just to name a few, we have the Oktoberfest in Munich, Salzburg's Harvest Fest, the Christmas markets in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, the UK, Croatia, and more countries. There's Bastille Day in France, Edinburgh's military tattoo, the running of the bulls in Pamplona, which I mentioned, pilgrimages to towns such as Lourdes in France, Assisi in Italy, Santiago de Compostela in Spain, the Ibiza closing parties. These are just to name a few. So if you're thinking of traveling to Europe this year or even next year, please, please, please start working with Angela today. And while there are so many corners of Spain and Portugal and Europe to explore, this does wind down our suggested itineraries today. But remember that your customized European adventure is only limited by your budget and your imagination. So definitely give Angela a call, start that conversation on your next independent European vacation. And with that, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to learn about Europe Express, the diverse products that we offer, how we can help Angela to design your independent European adventures. And again, just remember to give her a call. So I'm going to put this up for just another second here while I stop sharing, bring back my video, and see if we have any questions, Angela, at all. Oh, you're muted.
Jesus. Yeah. Been going through the chat, asked if anybody had any questions.
Yeah.
No, I guess the presentation itself was good enough. So,
Oh, okay.
but I can tell you one thing, your pictures are always very enticing. So,
Thank you. Yeah.
especially, and I love, when I like food. And so that
I do
that
too.
tapas, so that tapas walking tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that one. So
Yeah. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's you and I go. Even if nobody else wants to come with us, let's
know,
you and I do it.
right?
Seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. But it was great. I enjoyed it. I think I know those who were watching it enjoyed it as well too. It was great to tie in Portugal and adding Spain in there. So that was good for those who didn't catch, because we did a full thing on Spain last year. And
Yes.
so to add a little bit more in it again, because again, Spain is another popular destination as well too. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yes. So thank you again. I appreciate you coming on with us again for this month. For those who are ready for wanting to know what we're doing next month we are going to talk about the great outdoors. So that's going to be a little bit different, and learning more about what you can see differently, and in the areas of those who want to explore outside of who likes the outdoors,
Right.
in other
Right.
words.
Getting away from the
Yes.
people, getting away
Right.
from the crowds a little
Yes.
bit. Right.
Yeah. For those
Yeah.
who like the outdoors. So we'll talk about that. We will actually, that one is scheduled for the 25th of May. Typically we do these on the third of the month of Wednesday, but next month is going to be a little bit different. And so hopefully you'll be able to join us at 1 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday, May the 25th. Again, thank you so much, Rose. Appreciate your time and taking with us to learn about Portugal and Spain. I know everyone has enjoyed it. I did myself, and look forward to connecting again next month.
Sounds good.
All righty, you guys
Thank
have a good
you.
rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.